ever seen it be that effective. But, you know, it's cool. And, yeah, he'll be down 0-1 here. But that's alright. So, going into game number 2. Alright, game number 2, and as you can see I was just completely unprepared. Whoopsie daisies. So, Sziky will be the orange Zerg here at the bottom left position. And his opponent, Julia, will be the blue Zerg at the top right. Excellent! So, yeah, I've talked up Julia a little bit, saying how he likes to do silly things in ZVZ. But I guess we'll see here. Hopefully he proves me right and he does something unorthodox. Otherwise, that'll just be a complete waste. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, 2-player map is the one to do it. I think my favorite game, or one of my favorite ZVZs, there's actually been a few really good ZVZs on this map in the pro scene, but in one of them, I think it was Zero versus Hyuk, and Zero like proxy hatched in his opponent's main. So basically, Zero sent out a really early drone to go down. So let's say Zero is top right. Zero sent out a really early drone. He built a hatchery like right here, and just killed his opponent with Zerglings, and it was absolutely amazing. But it doesn't look like Julia's gonna do that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else try that, even though it seemed like it was really effective. I think it partly depends on also the Overlord scouting. Like, the drone barely missed the second Overlord seeing it or something like that. It was really, really tight. In the meantime, it looks like we have a 9-pool again from Sziky, and Julia is going gas first. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So he is doing a build that is rather uncommon. It's not unheard of. Going gas first. It's definitely a legit build. I'm actually trying to think now when that actually started being used in the pro scene. I think I was actually had already started watching pro games when that first appeared, but I can't actually remember. So it couldn't have been that long ago. Maybe someone can. I'm sure Baku's in the chat. I'm sure he knows. Anyway, so Ling's on the way now, and actually, I think Julia will be okay, even if Sziky runs straight over to this base. But it looks like it'll be a little bit close here. I think it'll be fine. Anyway, Lair immediately started now for Sziky. He's actually gone Lair before speed, and his Overlord is now just about to get to the natural here. Interesting scouting direction for Julia's second Overlord. Interesting direction for Sziky's as well. I don't know why he's I guess he's just going to chill here and be used for Muta stacking. But it looks like Julia actually might be going down here. Okay, so he's just going to chill here so he can kind of see both entrances where Zerglings could come in here. So this narrow ramp entrance, and then like the other entrance from the south where you have to go a little bit around. Interestingly, Sziky's actually brought 2 Zerglings back here. I don't know if he's scared that Julia hid some Zerglings somewhere or something, but I don't really understand why these 2 Lings are coming home. He must be doing it as a precautionary measure, assuming that, you know, the lack of expansion meant that Julia quite likely went for a 9-pool himself. And now that he sees that obviously there was no 9-pool, he can probably bring those Lings back, although I guess he's too busy microing right now. I assume that's why he brought them back, as, you know, thinking that Julia would have done a bit of a run around, as he did in the last game. But as we can see, it's not the case, and Sziky's Spire is now starting. Now, I feel like this is too late, so Julia is going to need some spores here to defend, but he is obviously going to have a much quicker second hatchery than Sziky, so he's going to have a lot more larvae to work with. He can, you know, maybe sneak a couple extra drones, get a few extra Zerglings to do backstabs and whatnot, and can probably afford it. And the funny thing is that his gas count actually... Well, actually, let's have a quick look here. So 4,440 left. Yeah, the gas count is actually about even. Julia is just like 10 gas ahead of Sziky right now. So you know, once Julia does get his Spire up, he shouldn't really be behind on the Muta count because he has enough gas to actually get all the Mutas. I'm a little bit surprised he's made the second Sunken though. This seems a bit of a waste to me because he's already gotten 2 hatches. I mean, I guess... I don't know. I mean, he's got an Overlord here as well to spot for Zerglings, because I feel like the fact that he has 2 hatches compared to Sziky's 1 means that he shouldn't really be overly worried about Zerglings, because he can obviously produce twice as many Zerglings as Sziky can. So I don't, and he's got the scouting here, so I don't know what he saw to make him like a little bit scared and make that second Sunken. Really, I think this should have been a Spore. Especially because he's already got this very well positioned Sunken, so that 1 Sunken can actually do a bunch. And actually, it looks like he's not even going to bother sporing up at all here, so I don't know if I was just mistaken here. Maybe he's just assuming Sziky's not going straight to his base, because as we can see, the 3 Mutas are popping. His Spire is only like halfway done. It's just over halfway done. So if those Mutas came straight over here, they could have actually killed a lot of drones, but instead Sziky's going for the Overlord here. Now, this is actually pretty common, and okay, I guess Julia wasn't just like counting on luck here. He was actually sending his Zerglings across to also distract the Mutas to buy himself some time to get his own Spire up, and he's actually somehow just run the gauntlet here, despite Sziky having a lot of Zerglings there. I don't know if Sziky just doesn't have Zergling speed. His Zerglings are coming back. Yes, Sziky does not have Zergling speed, so his Lings are actually coming back really, really slowly. But look at this, he's not lost a single drone. Somehow, Sziky's Micro is just immaculate. Despite having like 8 Speedlings in his main, did not lose any drones at all. I just can't believe that this is even possible. So, you know, despite Julia once again making a good run-by move right there, just isn't able to do how much. However, it seems like this hatchery is taking a lot of damage. I don't think he'll get it, but man, while I was not paying attention, this is taking a lot of damage. Cute little Micro there, getting it down to 130 HP. That is going to be a huge vulnerability going forward for Sziky. He's going to have to be so defensive now, because any small group of Zerglings could easily just run in and take this out very, very easily. So, man, Sziky's got to be so careful. And, of course, while that was going on, Julia did buy enough time to get his, to start getting some Mutas and Scourge up, so he's not going to be too far behind on the air. Of course, Sziky did start production a little bit earlier, but as I said before, the gas count shouldn't be too different. And in fact, Sziky has invested in +1 air attack, so in terms of the actual numbers here, Julia should in fact have an advantage. And as you can see, because he had the 2 hatcheries worth of larva to work with, he can immediately catch up in the air count. He doesn't have to wait for larva to actually, make units with. But the problem, of course, is that now Sziky does have the second gas mining, so he's going to start pulling ahead in the gas, but it looks like Julia is not going to allow him to sit on that for too long here. Now, Julia doesn't need to overly commit with this. I don't know if he's just going for the kill here, or maybe he will try and just go for a snipe on the hatchery, use his Scourge to chase Sziky's Mutas around. Whoa! Julia, though, not paying attention. Notice that Sziky actually cloned his Scourge on separate Mutas instead of targeting the same one, because the Mutas are going to fight anyway, so you might as well have them damaged down to 10 HP, but it looks like, does Julia have the advantage here? If he has the air advantage, he will be able to snipe the hatchery. It looks like he missed a couple of volleys, and oh my god, Julia just eating the Scourge there, though. I don't know why he's just not even bothering to Micro, and Sziky just easily with the Scourge is able to defend. Julia, I thought, definitely had an advantage there in the beginning. Looks like Julia now coming in with these Zerglings, going to try and finish off the hatchery, but it's not going to be enough here. All of the units of Sziky are right there. And Julia, I feel like, threw away the only small advantage he had there. I think he had a small air advantage from what it looked like before those last wave of Scourge hit. Now for the supply, 34 supply against 29. Sziky once again with a 5 supply lead. At least this time the supplies are a little bit higher, so it's not as big of a deal. Now, Julia, I mean, the only advantage he has right now is that he's got Zergling speed and Sziky doesn't. So Sziky's got to be a little bit more defensive, as you can see. Despite winning that air battle, Sziky still couldn't move out of his base. And looks like Julia moving in once again. He's going to run a few Zerglings past here. A few of the Mutas actually looks like running to the main as well to distract. So Julia doing a 2-pronged attack here. And it looks like he's going to get the hatchery this time. He is going to get a hatchery with the Lings. No, he's not going to get the hatchery. However, he's finally killed 2 drones at long last. After many, many, many attempts, Julia has finally killed a couple of drones. Unfortunately for him, it looks like he's got a miss rally or something here. It's going to cost him a Muta there. Man, that is actually a really expensive loss for apparently no reason. I don't know what that Muta was doing over there. it can't be a rally either, because the rally looks like it's here, so I don't know what the hell that was. And now he's going to face a huge counterattack. It looks like he's just going to go for the counter and just try and do as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, two Lings have finally finished off the hatchery as well. The problem is now he cannot really defend these mutas. The only thing he can do is make Mass Scourge and hope Sziky messes up, and that's very unlikely. I mean, he's doing a little bit of counter damage here, but, you know, Sziky can easily make enough things to defend that. And Julia doesn't even have enough mutas to actually effectively micro against Scourge, whereas obviously Sziky has plenty of mutas. So Julia's base is now dead, although Julia is sending in a lot of Zerglings here. Julia looks like he's actually just going for the elimination race here somehow. The problem is that Sziky actually has a decent number of drones. Did Julia sneak out any drones? Julia didn't sneak out any drones, so Sziky can actually just make an extractor somewhere, and even if it does turn into an elimination race, you know, he'll probably be okay. Although this is quite an interesting... I mean, I guess it's the only thing Julia could have done, but now he's lost all his air, and he's got like a few random Zerglings here. So the only thing that's going to happen is a potential elimination race, but it looks like Sziky's not even going to bother. He's just going to pull his mutas back and kill the Zerglings. So yeah, this isn't really going to do anything. I mean, as you can see, Sziky's even got 89 minerals, so he can actually just build an extractor anywhere he wants and avoid this silliness altogether. But he's going to pull his mutas back and finish it off. So Julia is about to lose the last of his dudes. He's down to 3 supply, and GG from Julia. Sziky goes up 2-0 in 2 quick games there. I mean, what else can I say? Sziky being Sziky. Basically, like, almost all the TLS staff, I think, predicted a 3-0. I think a lot of viewers probably did as well. And, you know, it's not even a reflection on Julia. Julia, you know, is a very strong player, but Sziky is Sziky. Nothing you can do. So with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and then be back for game number 3.